Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. By the way, thank you so much for all the amazing feedback that you sent me in my previous video about me stepping away from tarot and doing my own thing on this channel. I highly appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for your support. I tried to reply to as many comments as I could, and yeah, I just want to say thank you, and it definitely made me feel more free. Okay, so this video is going to be about professions and astrology, a career path and astrology. It's for those that are still searching for the perfect career path. Maybe you're at the crossroads, maybe you're not sure what you would rather do for a living that would fulfill you and make you feel happy. In this video, we're gonna briefly talk about the professions that you could kind of determine with the help of astrology. And before we do that, I do have my own website now, and you can go there. It's 111astrology.com and use my birth chart calculator. It's a free one. You can put your birth info in there and generate your own birth chart. That's in case if you don't know your placements. We will be discussing the 10th house today, guys. Just the 10th house. I'm not going to be talking about every single way how to determine that right perfect career path. We're just going to be talking about 10th house. And yes, there are definitely plenty of ways to figure out your future profession or ideal profession in Western astrology, but this is the technique we're gonna use today. So once you get your birth chart, you will be looking at the top of the chart, 10th house. Now, your 10th house could be in Scorpio, for example, so the ruler would be Pluto or Mars. This could be in Taurus, that would be Venus. Now, I do, however, want you to pay attention to if you have any planets in the 10th house, because that's what we're going to be talking about. If you do have any planets in the 10th house, then this video is for you. However, keep in mind that if you don't have any planets in the 10th house, that's okay. We will be looking at rulers of the signs that are sitting in your 10th house. So, for example, it could be Pisces, 10th house in Pisces, so that would be Jupiter and Neptune you would be paying attention at. This could be Sun, so this could be Leo, I'm sorry, you would be paying attention to the Sun in your chart, and so on. So, let's start with the Sun in your 10th house, and I believe this placement is one of the luckiest because it literally opens all doors for you. And if you are on the younger side and you still haven't figured out what you want to do for a living, I'm not saying that this path is going to be easy for you, choosing a job, but basically all the government jobs, maybe starting your own business, those will be really good for you and easy to achieve. Actually, you could have, or you could know, a lot of people in authority positions that could help you. You could have parents in authority positions that could help you, and it's easier for you to climb the professional ladder when you have this placement. So any government job, whatever you can think of, becoming a manager, supervisor, or owning a business, even from small to large corporations, people with the Sun in the 10th house are able to do that. Now, I would like to mention Donald Trump. He has a Sun in the 10th house, and as we all know, he's a great businessman and all that, and now he's the president of the United States, so that worked out for him pretty well. Now, let's talk about the Moon in the 10th house, and the Moon is definitely different. Moon in the 10th house people make really great psychologists, actually, and it's all about nurturing and serving people and caring for people. So if you have that placement, you would be really great at working with women, for women, with children as well. This is about hotel service, hotel management maybe. This is about food service. This is about catering. These people make great psychologists and great psychiatrists as well. Now, nurses is a very big one. For example, one of my best friends is a nurse, and she has Moon in the 10th house. So here we go. Actually, I have my Moon in the 6th house, but I don't think I would be a good nurse. Yeah, so anything that is connecting with you emotionally. That would be very important for Moon in the 10th house people. If you do not have that intuitive, that emotional connection with your job, most likely you're not going to last there for too long. So that's Moon in the 10th house, guys. Now let's talk about Mercury in the 10th house. And with this placement, you are offered a variety of jobs and career opportunities, because most likely you're really good at communication. And usually people with Mercury in the 10th house tend to be quick learners, and they're really good with linguistics, foreign languages. They're really good at communications with others. They're really good at sales. So you could become a great salesman, you could become a great real estate agent. Most of the people with the Mercury in the 10th house are really good at computers, you know, computer skills, and journalism, writing, teaching. So my brother has this placement in the 10th house, and he's only 14, but he already wants to become a journalist, and I tell him go for it, you know, because that's something that would actually bring him success if he tried, and I'm sure that it will go well for him because of all the placements that he has in his natal chart. And with the Mercury in the 10th house, people tend to have intellectual type of jobs. However, a lot of them may not be that great with math, but they're really good with languages, with foreign languages, for example. Yeah, it definitely offers a variety of jobs where you are, I don't know, a telemarketer, a computer, like a web developer, a web designer, public relations, writing, journalism, publishing, all of that stuff. Okay, so you're also pretty lucky if you do have Mercury in the 10th house. Now let's talk about Venus in the 10th house. And Venus in the 10th house, as we all know, it's about money, beauty, love, you know. It's definitely about beautifying everything around you. However, it's not the only type of jobs that Venus would offer. However, especially if you're a woman, especially if you work around women, and that would be a really good business for you. Floral shops, beauty salons, cosmetology, acting, modeling. Now, anything that's got to do with making things and people around you prettier. This is about decorating, interior design. This is about even web designers, because you are beautifying the website, right? People with Venus in the 10th house are really good at organizing social events, doing some kind of food service, maybe a restaurant business, because, you know, Venus is good quality foods. Music is a thing, acting is a thing, also designing clothes is a big one, and banking, actually, because Venus does rule money, and you could become a really good banker if you're a male, you know, having Venus in the 10th house, and you're not interested in like food or restaurant business or catering, you're not interested in beauty salons and flowers, you can definitely become a really good banker. Now, as for famous people that have this placement, Kanye West has this placement, and you know, he's a musician and has his own clothing line. And same goes for Victoria Beckham. She again used to be a singer, and now she is like a clothing designer or something like that. I don't really follow her biography that much, but that's what I know about her. Now, let's move on to Mars in the 10th house. And Mars in the 10th house, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? To me, it's military, law enforcement, and it's true. You know, these people make really good policemen, really good athletes. You know, sports is a really big one when it comes to Mars. And even if you are a housewife but you have this placement, you are probably more active than anybody with a regular job. Trust me, these people are very fiery, goal-oriented. They're always active and on the go. These people have really good leadership skills as well. So professions that would be good for Mars in the 10th house people, they involve law enforcement, like I said, politics, some kind of management positions, because again of all the leadership qualities, security firms, security agents, also medical field. Anything that's got to do with metal would be good for Mars in the 10th house people. For example, becoming a surgeon or something like that. However, you know, I know that nurses do very well with Mars in the 10th house. Anything that covers the medical field. Now, Jupiter in the 10th house makes people wealthy a lot of times. I'm not gonna say that everybody is going to become wealthy that has Jupiter in the 10th house, but it's definitely a possibility. Famous and wealthy. Now, it's about mentoring and teaching. So you could become a great teacher, a professor, a life coach, spiritual teacher with this placement in your chart. Also, Jupiter is law, so you could become a great legal assistant, a judge, a lawyer, anything that's got to do with law and education. Now, foreign languages is a big one with Jupiter in the 10th, so you could maybe work with foreign clients or travel for work a lot, regardless of what it is, or deal with a lot of like foreign countries, importing, exporting possibly. And again, public relations could be a good one when it comes to Jupiter in the 10th house. Now let's talk about Saturn in the 10th house, and it is a home of Saturn. And again, the first thing that comes to mind with Saturn in the 10th house is authority, you know, government position. And it's true, a lot of people with Saturn in the 10th house do end up becoming authorities, do become managers or CEOs. Yeah, it's true, but it's also about having this workaholism to you, okay? And these people do tend to reach success later in life. However, once they reach the success, it's long lasting. I actually do have Capricorn in my 10th house, which is, you know, the home of Capricorn, but my Saturn is in the 11th house. So even though having Capricorn in the 10th house would be considered like me maybe becoming an authority or being in charge in a way, but I don't look at it like that, you know, I don't. So Saturn in the 10th house, you have to be in charge, yes, and most likely you are going to reach success a little bit later in life, but it is going to be long lasting and you're going to be respected. And again, just like with the Sun in the 10th house, use it right, use your power right, you know, because sometimes Saturn tends to hold a lot of power over others, and it becomes uncomfortable for people around you, okay? Now, government jobs, of course, would be a good one. I believe law and anything that's got to do with rules, even politics. Yeah, people with Saturn in the 10th usually have big careers. Now, Neptune in the 10th house, this is the placement that I have, and Neptune rules water, Neptune rules sea, ocean, and liquids. So you might encounter some bartenders having this placement. I've never been one, but I wouldn't mind working as one, honestly. Yeah, Neptune in the 10th is really good for bartenders because I guess we're really good at mixing drinks. I don't know. But also Neptune rules anything sea related, ocean related. I want to bring an example of my stepdad. When he was younger, he used to work on ships. He has this placement. He has absolutely no clue about astrology or his Neptune in the 10th. His whole life, the majority of his life, he used to work on ships, and then he got a job at Sea Customs in my city, and he moved up and he became the head of Sea Customs, which is amazing because this is exactly Neptunian type of job. Me, you know, since Neptune also rules spirituality and spiritual practices, I took a spiritual practice type of job for a living, and that worked out for me. Now, when I used to go to college in my town, the college would offer us jobs at the seaport once we graduate. So I could have taken a job there and I could have, you know, stayed in my town and worked at the seaport, but I left. So this could also be Neptunian type of job because you would be connected to the sea somehow. You would be working at a seaport. Fishermen, yeah, bartenders, like I mentioned, spiritual teachers, spiritual, you know, like tarot readers, and Reiki healers, and jobs like that. Now, I do want to mention that Jesus had this placement if the chart that I have of him is correct, because I know that there are plenty of Jesus charts out there, so I'm not exactly sure, but it would make total sense, okay, if this was accurate. Now, Uranus in the 10th house, and I also have this placement, and guys, for you, if you have Uranus in the 10th house, the best job for you is being self-employed, doing whatever you like to do, but being self-employed, because if you do end up working for somebody else, this is going to be a disaster probably. You're going to be changing many jobs throughout the years. And Uranus rules technology, Uranus rules electronics, so you would probably be really good at working in that field. Also online jobs, which is what I'm doing. You know, I do have an online job, and I am self-employed. Now, another thing is Uranus rules astrology. So here I am, and if you are interested in astrology and you feel like this is your thing, with Uranus in the 10th house, you could maybe achieve it. I don't know if I will, we'll see, but it's something to think about. Uranus rules freelancers, so that could be a big one for people with Uranus in the 10th, and just inventing something, you know, creating something of your own, and just unique jobs, you know, whatever you think is unique and not so orthodox, that is the Uranus in the 10th house job. Now, the last planet I would like to talk about is Pluto. And Pluto is all about research in occult, and they make really great detectives, honestly. However, not just detectives and researchers, they also make great doctors and just working in the medical field. I want to say that banking is a big one. You could become a banker, work at a bank, deal with finances, maybe accounting. That could also be really good for your Pluto. Now, I would like to mention Vladimir Putin, because he does have this placement in his 10th house, and as a lot of you know, he's a former KGB agent, and that's where all the like research comes in. But of course, not everybody is gonna want to become a detective or a doctor, you know, anything that's got to do with finances, maybe like divorce lawyers even, you know, where you have to separate somebody's assets or something like that, would be perfect for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it helped you, and please let me know in the comments below if any of these jobs resonate with you, what placements you have in the 10th house, how they're affecting your life, and what is your career with the specific placement in your chart. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.